Welcome to the Motivation Without the Hype podcast with your host, Jez Perez. He's an author, high-performance coach, and motivational speaker. This show brings you inspiring messages and interviews to unleash your greatness in life and in business. So let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome to Motivation Without the Hype podcast show. My name is Jez Perez, a former procrastinator into an action taker. We bring you inspirational messages and interviews, including motivational insights, tips, principles, and proven strategies that you can take action without the hype in unleashing your greatness in life and in business. Now, we appreciate you plugging in and spending time with us, and we are really blessed, and we have two special very guests across the globe, and I'm super grateful to have them. So it's Simon, who is a serial entrepreneur, tech savvy, and a trained teacher, and Helene is a certified coach and enneagram practitioner and knows all about feelings. On top of that, they are experienced speakers and facilitators. For the last 15 years, they have coached and mentored hundreds of people online around friendships and the enneagram, and now seem the right time to get even louder. I love it. Their everyday life happens in Copenhagen, Denmark, and is filled with city life. Their two beautiful kids serving in their local church, and all the messiness of being a human in between. Now, they love to laugh, be real, experience all that Copenhagen has to offer, and they really truly love people. And guys, I can vouch to that. I can sense their authenticity, and it is amazing. So, first of all, these two amazing human beings, Simon Helene, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. We're absolutely delighted to be here.
Yeah, it's just a pleasure.
Yeah.
We hope
totally
we can bring
thrilled.
some value to you and your audience. It's a blessing that we can be here.
Oh, I'm blessed as well. Oh, I'm bloody blessed already. This is amazing, guys. We just had a quick catch up, and look, you're in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen. And wow. Okay, so please tell us who you are and what you both do.
All right.
Well, who we are would be about 4 hours, right? But I'm Helene, and we're both friendship coaches. And yes, that's a thing if you're wondering.
Right.
Yeah.
And a very needed thing.
And I know that you guys have vast experience, and we've just heard it through your bio. But what is the one thing that really drives you with passion? Like, you wake up the next day, what keeps you going?
Right. See, I think it's such a interesting question. It's a question that we actually ask our clients time and again.
Really?
When you have to find out who you actually are. So the question you just asked, who are you? We find that's actually quite hard to answer. And figuring out what actually makes you wake up with sparkles in your eyes, what makes you lie down on a pillow and feel like you had a good day's work, that is the question. And to be honest, for us, it's those small moments where we feel absolutely blessed that we see that kind of a change in a person's life where they have that aha moment where, oh, this is who I am, or this is my next step, or when the puzzle just kind of fits together in a person's life. That's what makes us absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah, agree.
Love it. Yep.
Seeing people becoming all they're created to be is just magic.
So you're all about authentic relationships, and you're a friendship coach. How did this come about? I see
Being a coach, being a mentor everywhere, we talk to a lot of people. There's a lot of self-development out there, and we're not against self-development, but we do believe that self-development is a tool to create great friendships, great relationships in your life. Because what really brings us happiness, what really brings us fulfillment, even what brings us longer lives are the friendships that we surround ourselves with, the people that we surround ourselves with. So it actually came out of coaching, mentoring, having conversations, and just hearing this is not an area we have a language for. It's not an area that we talk about. Yeah, maybe when we start school, you talk about no bullying and stuff like that, but we don't really dig into what it is to have deep, fun, fulfilling, real, authentic friendships as adults. And we need it. And everybody's struggling in some form or way.
How do you tackle that with with COVID and lockdown restrictions, because I know in Australia, one of the things that's quite tough, like they're so isolated, and we live in this digital age where friendships may not be authentic. How do you find the
Exactly.
right type of people who have the right type of intentions? And you probably know that it's really important to be in a really great environment. How do you sort out those type of friendships and know they're quite genuine?
To be honest, and it is harder in COVID seasons. It is definitely a stretch on friendships, and I think what has happened for many people as well, it's kind of been a catalyst to some of the friendship that I thought were strong may have kind of just evaporated in this season. I thought I was this close, but now we haven't spoken, we haven't checked in, we haven't actually had the commitment we thought we had. So on one hand, Corona season has been a catalyst to actually figure out which friendship was now strong or not. And to be honest, I do think it is a stretch with online and everything, because we are physical beings. So it puts us at a hold with something. We can definitely learn a lot about friendships. We can definitely get a good understanding, but it's just like watching rugby on the screen. Until you get down there and get tackled, you won't get better at playing rugby. So it's the same thing with friendships. So there is a stretch in this season, but we have definitely been able to help our clients get some of the skills in, because we do strongly believe that friendship is skill-based and not personality-based.
Yeah.
So that when they go out again and meet people physically, they now have the skills they need and the confidence that comes with knowing that, so they can actually go in and be physically with people again.
That's powerful, because not many people tend to think that way. They think about personality based, but not. Yeah, so that's a really key thing. Sorry, Helene, you were saying something.
No, and you are right, because we say that we attach identity to behavior.
Yeah.
So we mistake that. So we think there's something wrong with me,
Right.
and I'm not good enough. I'm boring. I'm something when I can't build friendships. And I'm a living testimony that it's skill-based.
Right.
Because I've had a really hard time building friendships, and I do have people that like me now. But I was saying that some of the things that we tell our clients is find out your core values. And because often when people say, well, I need friends, they go, well, join a club, get a hobby, something very superficial. But if you want to find your people, you have to figure out, what are my core values? What is it I stand for?
Yeah.
So the chances are you'll find friends there on a deeper level, because they resonate with you. Us being, we're serial entrepreneurs. We are out to make a change in the world, and we go to church. So if we can find people where those three things align, we have a much larger chance of actually building deep, authentic friendships.
Yeah.
Love it.
And you don't just stop at the common denominator that often is, they got to be my age and they have to like football.
Same life situation.
Exactly.
Also.
That
It's
is very limited.
Why?
And it often just leaves us at a very superficial friendship level, where values and ethics and morals and what you want to do in the world, now that is long lasting on a completely different scale.
So if someone who may not be confident in building such connection or networking with others, what is the first step to actually building rapport? What's the first steps of actually building confidence?
I think the first step starts even before you meet people. Because we walk around focused on ourselves, and we think everybody sees us, everybody judges us, and we might even have this thought that they don't like me, or they kind of find that I'm boring. But all science shows that we like new people a lot more than we think we do. So just that mindset shift when you walk into a room and think, no, people will like me. People will think I'm interesting.
Right.
That's the first step.
Yeah. And I would say preparation as well, because I think we can all agree to this. We walk into a room and we get a little bit surprised about what's going on. We get a little bit shocked for some reason, and we're out of our comfort zone, and then we start talking about the weather. Yesterday's game.
Or COVID.
Or maybe the one Ukraine. And to be honest, once we start talking about that, we are in a rut now. We're talking about the same thing that we've talked about 20 times before. Nothing new hits the table.
Yeah.
But if you actually prepare, and it sounds a little bit weird for many people, but actually prepare, say, what are the 3 questions that I would love to ask someone that is not not about these four things, but saying,
and not what do you do.
yeah, exactly,
Avoid
not
that
what
one.
you do. That doesn't work either. But like, what makes you happy? What is important in your life this past season? What kind of things can you actually prepare a couple of questions around that takes you deeper than the superficial level? And once you've prepared, you won't end up talking about the weather. You won't end up necessarily talking about the match because you're not prepared. And then automatically you just dig it a level deeper. You get to know this person a level deeper. And that is a game changer in the preparation. And it seems simple, but it is a massive change.
I like that concept because a lot of people tend to talk about the superficial way. How you doing? How old are
Yeah.
you? You know, your family. But having what makes you happy, man, that's already building that authenticity friendship now. It's like, I really care about you and I really want to know you. And there's so many, and that's why
Exactly.
you become present, right? I
Yeah,
love that.
exactly.
So you're
Yeah.
probably experienced in terms of human behavior, Helene, in the enneagram. How does that
Mm.
help others have that different concept about building authentic relationship? Because now you kind of understand the behaviors, you understand, what their models are. How do you
Mm.
infuse that with authentic relationships?
I think the most beautiful thing about the Enneagram is it invites us to curiosity.
Hmm.
Because the Enneagram is a language around how different we are as humans.
Yeah.
And automatically as humans, we think everybody's like us, and if they don't behave, they probably should be.
Yeah.
And we tend to read. We tend to do a lot of mind reading.
Yeah.
We think that people we can see why people do what they do,
Mm.
and we think that they have the same motivation as us. And that's not authentic. That's honestly in your head. You can build a friendship in your head if you do mind reading all the time about why people do what they do.
Mm.
Instead, when we have tools like the Enneagram, we know, first off, wow, we're so different. We come from different places.
Yeah.
Another thing is we can ask much better questions
Right.
because we have this vast different motivations that people can come from. So for me, for example, I resonate with an Enneagram 3, which is effective, goal-orientated, tends to be a little bit, likes to look shiny.
Yeah.
And I know that, and I need to get there faster. My dearest husband, who's also my best friend, he resonates with the 7, who loves opportunities, who loves new ideas, who's a total popcorn brain. So actually, when he brings something up, I hear a goal. I hear, so honey, I've been thinking maybe we should buy an island. True story.
Well, it was for sale, so that made sense.
And what I hear is a goal, and I start thinking, how are we going to save up? How's that going to work? Where are we going to live?
Yeah.
And I've learned to ask him, honey, is that just an idea or what is that? Because I can ask a question based on who he is rather than on who I am.
And that has been a game changer, not just in our relationship, but in so many people's lives. And we've had the great fortune of bringing the Enneagram to both our local church and to so many people around us. And it's been one of those, that's why I do what I do. And that's why you do what you do. And now we get each other. And one of the beautiful things about the Enneagram is that it focuses so much on our default behavior. So it gives us a framework to move away from that and not just an excuse to behave poorly. And I absolutely love that. And it gives us such a great tool. And it's definitely been forming our relationship from day one. And we would not sit in the same place if it hadn't been for a tool like the Enneagram, that's for sure.
That's powerful. I know, like, there's Enneagram, there's DISC, there's HBDI, there's so many models out there, but it's that level of insight is, okay, I know this, but it just gives that sense of different, it's a different playing field now. It's like, okay, I understand. It's like seek to understand than to be understood. It's like, I want to
Yes.
understand you now because we're all wired differently. And like Helene, you mentioned, like, we're not all the same. But our mind says, yeah, we're all the same, but it's not.
Yeah.
But I think that Enneagram insight does, hey, you're wired this differently. But in order for me to
Yeah.
have that authentic friendship, because I need to understand you, but I know that type of profile, and you link it, and that's how you build rapport. That is powerful.
Exactly.
You mentioned about
Yeah.
friendship as an adult. Now, why is that important to have?
Well, if we just look at science, if we just look at, so, like, it is proven that you live happier,
Yeah.
you are less prone to stress, your mental health is better, your physical health is better, and you live longer. So we have all this talk about living like healthy lives and happiness, and actually a lot of studies show that friendships are just the key to that.
It is literally wired
That's
into
it.
our DNA.
Yeah.
It is scientifically proven that it is the one component to a longer life.
Wow.
It is more unhealthy to not have friends than obesity, massive drinking and smoking. And it's mind blowing that
crazy.
it is less unhealthy with those three things than not having friends, right? So it's just right there in our DNA. We're flock animals, if you want to put it like that.
We are.
We do need like really good, encouraging friends. But as we all hear this, the 5 books that you read and the closest people you read is the person you're going to become, right? And it's building that right relationship, right type of environment to help you grow and support. But if you live in isolation, that's where it gets difficult.
Yeah.
And I think you guys have really hit the nail on the coffin where, this is a really good take to actually share that and really empower someone through friendships. So when I went through this, I'm like, wow, this is different, but it's an empowering good different, because we need to share this concept. We need to empower others how important friendship is. So what would be one of the skills that people can actually learn right now? So those who are a total noob, like someone who's actually new and listening to this episode for the very first time about authentic friendships, what would be a first step or skill that they can actually learn to build a deeper friendship?
We talk a lot about the art of conversations and having good conversations, because a lot of our friendships develop in these conversations.
Yeah.
So start studying how to learn to listen deeper, turning off your own mental sound and actually listening to the other person, focusing on that. So often we listen only to respond. We listen to share our stories. We listen to promote whatever's going on in our lives. We're so full of ourselves, to be honest. I'm guilty.
Yes.
And so learning to listen, because just because we have ears doesn't mean we listen, and to ask really good questions. We have these 3 levels of questions that we tell people. Think about the fact that whenever something going on, you have a situation, you can ask about this situation. So what do you do this weekend? Oh, you got a promotion. That's amazing. Then the next level for that person is, what do you think or feel about this situation? How was it for you? Like, how did you feel this weekend? What was fun? Or even, I normally use the situation with the promotion. Are you happy? Are you glad? Are you excited? And the third level that you then can ask is, so how does that fit into what you want in your life? Because in whatever happens, it fits into our image of ourselves or our core fears, motivations, or where we want to go in life. And if we learn to ask questions not only about what happened, but how do you feel and think? And what does that do to you? What does that point you to? What does that initiate in you or tell about yourself? We are getting so much deeper in the conversations we have.
Oh, yeah. That is a game changer. I mean, we're so accustomed and used to that level 1 of question.
Yes.
But sometimes we are aware at times and we only stuck at number 2. But we
Right.
never have that conscious awareness to actually go into the 3. But those questions is, I'm really feeling, whoa, that is deep. But deep in where it's got good intentions, and it's like, hey, but I care. I'm not.
Yeah.
And that's how, I'm actually connecting all the dots now. It's like, if you use the third level, not only can you build authentic relationships, but what can you do to build business relationships? Networking with others. People who are influencers. You can, you know what I mean? It's that's next level. I call it next level ninja. That is.
Yeah.
And that's
I love
what we
that.
see in our clients time and time again, that they experience, I built friendships, but I became a better boss, or I became a better spouse, or I became a better father because I get these tools, I get these skills. And listening is our first skill when we take our clients in. And already after that first skill we teach them, they're like, I thought I knew how to listen. I had no clue. and it just kind of spills over in everything else. And that's the wonder of these small things. It's like, it's a game changer once you get to know how to use them properly.
And to listen.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important because a lot of people tend to just speak and hardly listen. And I think if you want to win friends and influence them and build authentic, you got to listen and then ask deep questions. So listeners, I know this may sound simple, but actually being conscious aware is a different thing. And I think right now, if you want to get in touch and really get connected with Simon and Helene, go to those show notes, go to the provided links, and get connected to them right away. Because I know that as it's resonating with me, I know it's resonating with you, and it's that different concept. Because when you listen and see this title of authentic relationships or friendships, you only think of one aspect. But guys, I'm telling you right now, there's multifaceted aspects and how you can utilize these skills. So we build the mindset, but then it's the skill set that we connect that together to build deeper friendships.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, blown away.
Amazing.
So I always ask this question to every guest that's on the show. What is your meaning of motivation without the hype? And how do you use motivation for your personal success?
Yeah. Sorry. No, I think for us, it's mind blowing to see the difference that it makes in people's lives.
Wow.
So, and you look at the science of what we get to do and where we get to dig in, and it explodes on itself. And that's the beauty of what we get to do, that this spills over in every sphere of life. And we don't need to hype this. We don't need to try to make anything out of it, because once you understand that I'm not an island as a man, once you understand these values of building friendship, you elevate to the next level as a person, and it just will spill over. And there's no hype needed around that, because that is just beautiful in itself, and people around you will notice, and you will walk into a room with confidence. So for us, it's such a privilege to be in it, and we don't need to hype that. It just is right there in everything that happens around it.
Love it. Helene, what about you?
I think two words come to mind when we say motivation without the hype. One is drive.
Yeah.
Because motivation, especially when we connect it to hype, is more of a feeling.
Yeah.
And being driven, being purposeful. That is definitely. And then also just resonating with logic. That I can be motivated by facts. I don't need to create feelings to do it. So I think for me, motivation without the hype is that deep sense. And honestly, it's taken me 4 years to figure out I wanted to work with friendships, and that's what I want to push in the world. And when I look back at my life, it just all lines up to this. So that's how I use my motivation to point forward, is that I look back and I just had this deep belly feeling, this is the right way to go.
Love it. Awesome. Wow. Guys, I'm blown away. This is so many golden nuggets just with this segment alone. And this is not going to be the end. So thank you so much, Simon and Helene. You guys are such a blessing. It's awesome. It's such a privilege to have you both together, which is awesome. You know, usually it's one guest, but having both, two brilliant minds, oh, it's phenomenal. So guys, if you want to get in touch and have more information about what Simon and Helene does, it's all in the show notes on the provided links. Please connect with them on Instagram. There's also a Facebook group as well. You want to get into the community to also build other people who are in that network, to also test out that friendship and build deeper relationship in that group as well. So if this episode has been helpful and uplifting, we would love for you to write a review to inspire more listeners to get plugged in. We will continue to provide high value content in each and every episode. Now, if you don't mind sharing this podcast show on social media by inviting others, it would mean the world to me and us. Every time you tag me or Simon or Helene, we will get the opportunity to share those posts, and together, I said again, together we can make a difference in the lives of others through inspiration episodes just like this, and what we heard all about authentic friendships. So there you have it. In closing, continue to unleash your greatness and tell yourself that I can, I will, and I must, and we'll see you on the next episode.